Brailee Bogle.
You good?
Well, day one back at camp, how do you guys feel with this group of Lady Hornets getting ready for the year?
Yeah, we're really excited, finally be able to get back in with the coaches. We, as players, committed to reporting a week early and going twice a day open gyms with no coaches. So kind of being able to start day one at a way higher level and setting the bar really high on day one was really exciting to see today.
Coach said that he felt like it was a really good day one. What about this practice today made you feel like the work that you put in with that week coming in paid off today?
I feel like there's a lot of little things that go into volleyball that you don't think about, setting up plays, what kind of defense you run. And us being in here for already a week, we've already established those things. So we're able to come in, start ripping balls and sixes, connecting really well on things that, honestly take a lot of time to get to. And the energy and communication was just so high today.
It's the first time that you guys have made back-to-back MIAA tournaments since, I think it was 2017, 2018. They had a nice little run there. How does the expectation level get taken up yet again this year to try to take that next step and continue to compete like you guys did last year for a top 8 regional seed and make that NCAA tournament return?
I think the biggest thing that we're kind of preaching right now is never being satisfied. Like you said, this is back-to-back years. I personally haven't not made the conference tournament, but I've also lost the first round of the conference tournament. I haven't made it to the NCAA tournament, and for a lot of us girls, we have seniors that have been here with me from the start, and this is their last go-round, and we are continuing to bring in a lot of really good talent thanks to Coach. And I think, we just have to let them know, the sky's the limit, and, we're not just trying to be at the MIAA tournament. We want to bring home a ring and, come and make the NCAA tournament. So
One thing I noticed from practice today is there's a lot of communication that Coach seems to put on the players themselves. Talk about why that's important.
I think it's really important to communicate within each other because volleyball is a game of what you see, and a lot of players see things differently and can read things differently, have different views. And so, communication when you have 6 girls all playing in a really small little box is hard if you don't know what somebody else is doing or what they're seeing. And it's also a very mental game. What are you telling yourself on the inside? And, volleyball is a game of errors. So having positive mental talk is really important.
Great, thank you.
Yes, of
Appreciate
course.
it. Well, you said at the end of practice that you felt like it was a really good first practice. What did they do to achieve that kind of A grade for day one?
Day one was about effort and communication, over execution. So I wanted to have them get in there and compete and not have balls hit the floor without great effort after it, and obviously open up their mouths and communicate about the seams and the easy balls, and they did a wonderful job of that. And clearly, I think the execution will take care of itself in due time. But for first day, I'm thrilled. I'll tell you what, a lot of kids did something over the summer. The returners, they're raising the bar in the gym, which is really exciting as the coach to walk in the first day and go, whoa, hey, all right.
Well, you guys are trying to raise the bar back up as a program. You guys have back-to-back MIAA tournament qualifications for the first time in 6 years, I think, since 2018 when they had the run of 5 straight. What's the next step in terms of elevating the program and getting it to where you want to go?
Well, we got to stop playing the number 9 team in the country in the first round. So we've got to finish higher, to not have a matchup, where the team that we play wins the conference tournament in the first round. So I think that's step one. We did end the season regionally ranked. 10 teams get regionally ranked, and if you want to be in the conversation to get an at-large bid for the NCAA tournament, if you're not going to win the tournament, you've got to be regionally ranked. And I was excited that at least we were in that conversation, or at least in that regional ranking. But bottom line is, we can't finish. We tied for 5th, so we got the 6th seed on RPI points by .01, and then we got to play the 3 seed, and that was Central Oklahoma, they just rang our bell the week before, and they rung it again, and we got to stop having putting ourselves in that position, which for me that's a huge goal this year. Can we try to break into that top 4, so we're not playing somebody in that neck of the woods in the first round.
One thing I asked Brailee about was parts of practice seem to be really ran by the players themselves and sort of how they communicate with each other. What's the importance of that?
Well, I'm a big believer in player-led teams, It's interesting that you observe that and notice that. The girls sometimes will be administering the ball also, so the coaches can coach. Something I think I didn't do early on, or even probably 5 or 10 years ago, and I'm trying to evolve, trying to get better, and I think when they're in charge of it, I think it means more. It means more coming from player to player than it does coach to player. That hierarchy or power dynamic, I think gets taken out of the equation a little bit. So, and credit to her. I mean, her and Cam and Sid and Naim and the older kids. I mean, they did an unbelievable job of getting this group, to walk in today and be in an unbelievably wonderful spot for us to have a first day. I don't want to. It was so good that I almost feel like it can only be worse after this, but hopefully that's not the standard. They just, I'm super excited for, what they've done to walk in today for the first day, that they're excited about. And again, just setting that bar pretty high for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.